This is my Steinhart vintage military watch, and let me tell you about this watch. It's just a couple of years old. It's really in perfect condition. The Steinhart is a German company, and really they're all about homage type of watches to Rolex. So this is an homage to a very rare Rolex, a 5517 Submariner. It actually had the same handsets as this. They had sword handsets. They didn't have those Mercedes handsets. It was a special Rolex in the fact that it was, I don't know, there might have been maybe 1,500 of them that were issued to British military, specifically to the Special Air Service and SBS boat service that they had. So this is in the 70s, so I'm not sure if this watch worn by military would probably be in active use during maybe service in Northern Ireland, or maybe even in the Falkland Islands into the early 80s. So those Rolex 5517 watches at auction, probably in good condition, are going over $100,000. This Steinhart really is a lot of watch for the money. I guess you could say it definitely punches greater than its weight. Everything's really well made. It's a German company, and they actually use pretty much ETA movements. So the ETA movement they use in this watch is an ETA 2824-2 Elaboré movement. Elaboré movement's a little more decorated, and it's tested in 3 positions for accuracy. Below that is the standard movement. It's tested in 2 positions. Above the Elaboré movement is one that's tested, I think, in 5 positions, and then there's the chronometer. So it's a really good movement that you'd find in more expensive watches, probably watches from $1,000 to $2,000 and maybe a little more sometimes. So it's that's a Swiss-made movement of the Swatch Group, and Swatch Group is now limiting the distribution of ETAs to only their group members. Steinhart is not one of their group members, but it's not a big manufacturer, so maybe they don't need as many, and Swatch will sell them those movements. The casing, I believe there's a place that I remember reading some of the research, but the casing was, the watch itself was, I think, made on contract in a company in Switzerland. Now, Steinhart has its own facility there. I'm not sure if they do assembly work there as well. They do have one watch designer, Simon Schmidt, and then they have 3 watchmakers there. So they could be doing either repair work or assembly work. The bracelet's quite nice. It's a screw-in bracelet, which I kind of like. You can see my bracelet is pristine because I never used the bracelet on this watch. I always used a strap or a NATO strap. The back, you can see it has an etched-in, where is it, if we can see that? Yeah, that is, did I have that right? It's kind of like Neptune or riding a seahorse there. And it's a 316L steel. I know Rolex uses a higher grade steel. And the 2824-2 Elaboré movement beats at 28,800 beats per hour. So that's why you get kind of a smoother sweeping second hand, and you'll see other watches, typically a lot of Seikos, mid-level Seikos have a slower beat movement at 21,600 beats per hour. Now, that doesn't necessarily make it better or more accurate, but it definitely has a beautiful presence on a sweeping second hand. The dimensions of this watch, so I think it's 13 millimeters high. You can see there's a bit of a bubble sapphire bezel, crystal with a anti-reflection material in it. So at different angles you get a little bit of distortion, It's quite nice. And there's not a mark on this watch, by the way. Not a mark on the case, no scratches anywhere, no blemishes, no discolorations. The bracelet's in perfect condition. I mean, this is, if you get new, this is pretty much brand new condition. There are no flaws with this watch. It works perfectly. You'll notice it has a, oh, let's go on to the dimensions. I think 22 millimeter lugs. I say about 13 millimeter height, though it sits fairly flat, easily goes under your shirt sleeve. Very, very Rolex related here. Fantastic bezel, probably the best bezel I've ever had on a watch. It's just perfect. It really lines up. The alignment is great. It snaps into place with a little bit of backplay just to put it properly right over that indice. And it has a great sound, not too hard, not too easy to turn. Really, really nice action on the bezel. I really love that. And I'll just put it right back to the, boom, perfect alignment. What else can I say about this watch? It has a screw down crown, which also has the Steinhart logo on it. And some people get a little confused by the crown because it's 2824-2 Labouré movement. There's a date complication, but they don't expose the date because they're trying to replicate the Rolex 5517, which does not have a date. So let's just unscrew this. It'll pop out to the first position. In the first position, you can actually hand wind it. It has a beautiful kind of hand wind feel to it. If you pull it out to the second position, that's where you change the date, the quick set date, but you can do all you want to do with that. You're not going to see anything happen. Okay, so some people, if you get the watch, say, hey, nothing's happening in this position. It's because they don't expose the date, so you don't see that. You pull out to the third position, that's where you hack the second hand. Let's watch the second hand here. I'll pull out to the third, it hacks. That means stops the second hand. Oh. And then you can set the time, change the hour, minute hands. Push that back in. A little tip here, when you're with a screw down crown, I always like to push in and screw it counterclockwise until it catches on a thread. And then whoops, don't take my glove with you. And then I'll screw it in. Whoops, sorry, these gloves, I won't do that. Has a great pip on the top here. And what else? Just really nice watch. I think the accuracy on this is quite good. Again, the Labouré movements are tested in 3 positions, not just 2, which are standard. So I find it definitely beats the specs on this movement. It's maybe it runs, which I like, slightly fast, so a few seconds fast a day when I've timed it. You can see a nice little, it's a beautiful looking watch. There are a few different versions. The first version of this watch that Steinhart came out with was a black face. I like the second version that came out. I bought the second version, which I kind of like this kind of brown gray face, and it plays with light a bit, so it will darken up sometimes where it looks black, or it will lighten up sometimes where it has that grayish brown look to it, and it has that old radium luminescence on the indices, the applied indices and hands. They light up pretty well. Not as good as our favorite Seikos there. They're the king of luminescence, but Steinhart does a good job. It's good. It looks good. And what else can I say about this watch? Casing's great. You can see no scratches, no desk diving scratches on the clasp. We'll open this up, and you can see it's kind of more of a milled clasp there. Maybe a better view of the seahorse. And snaps into place. So it's a very nice, nicely executed watch. I just think this type of movement is what I bought it for, because this type of movement you would find in watches from $1,000 to $2,000. So it's a really good bargain. And apart from a great movement, high beat movement, has a really solid case, solid screw down crown, and my glove keeps getting in the way of that. And a great bezel. This thing I think will last quite a long time. It'll be very durable in use. What also comes with this is the original case, box. I have the extra links. I think I sized it to about my wrist size. It's just slightly under 7 inches. A pretty standard wrist size. But they're extra links and pins. Again, screw down. It's not one of those pin and collar bracelets, so it is a lot easier to resize. So I think it's a great timepiece. It looks fantastic. It doesn't look like a Rolex. I mean, it looks like a Rolex kind of a DNA design shape there, but because it doesn't use those Mercedes hands, it's very kind of that rare Rolex. So it has its own kind of design look, and I think you'll feel really comfortable wearing this around. And solid. Love the coin edge on the bezel. It just really feels great, easy to grip. And it's also really good with different types of straps. Like I said, I never wore the bracelet. I always wore leather straps or NATOs on this, and it's, as they say, a strap monster. You can do anything with this. It'll just look great. I'd suggest kind of a light colored leather strap would look really nice on this, or NATO. And it's good for 300 meters underwater. With a screw down crown, I think you can trust it. And I just love that one there. It's Steinhart Ocean 1. And you'll see as a second hand base moves. There you go. That one is just focus. There we go. It's just really cool looking. So not too much writing on there, just enough. Steinhart symbol is kind of nice too. Plays off the Rolex crown a little bit. So yeah, this is a great value watch. Again, this guy is brand new condition. It's been pretty much stored all the time, and when I use it, no bracelet. And I've been very, very careful with this. So you're getting a good watch here. And you can see the hands have a stainless steel edging on the hands, so it plays off the light a little bit. So that's it. So definitely check this out. I think you'll very much like this watch. Thanks for watching.